So after over a year of being confined to watching sports on TV, new amendments to the Disaster Management Act will now allow fans to see live action in stadiums and other venues. In fact, no more than 2,000 fans will watch the World Cup Qualifier between Bafana-Bafana and Ethiopia at the FNB Stadium tonight. But organisers will be required to ensure that all health and safety measures are observed. So how possible will this be with a crowd of 2,000 people? Well, Professor Tivani Mashamba-Thompson is our next guest on this issue. She is the Deputy Dean of Research at the University of Pretoria's Faculty of Health. Prof, it's great to have you with us on the show this morning. It's exciting for sporting fans that even though it's just 2,000 of them, they'll be able to gather at the stadium this evening and actually watch some live sports.
Yes, yeah. Good morning, and thank you for having me. I think, yes, it's exciting, and it will really help boost people's mental health.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, you know, this pandemic is moving towards epidemic stage, and it really needs to be treated like any other epidemic that's existing now. So I think it's really good, and as long as we can keep controlling, you know, the transmission and observing the control measures for the COVID-19.
So you are in agreement, Prof, that this is the right decision to make and to go in with this number of people, because remember, the stadium itself has a capacity of almost 100,000 people. So on the face of it, we could have allowed more people into the stadium, but 2,000, you reckon, is a safe way to start reopening venues?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that number people may, you know, will have to continue social distancing and, you know, and keep the masks on. And so if the security there to ensure that should be fine. The schools are open, so stadiums should be open as well.
Yeah. So, you know, people will be concerned about the possibility of contracting COVID-19. We know that only those who are fully vaccinated have been allowed this opportunity to go to FNB Stadium. But we also know that that doesn't mean that you can't contract or spread COVID-19. What are some of the things that, if I'm going to the stadium this evening, I need to keep in mind?
Yes, it's important to understand that, you know, the vaccination won't stop any transmission. Well, you know, you will still be able to transmit the virus if you're infected. And you know, and still probably get ill, but the symptoms won't be as severe because, you know, the vaccine's meant to help, you know, reduce those symptoms and severe symptoms and death. So, but it's important to understand that the pandemic is still here. COVID-19 is here. It's a disease that we are living with, and you know, we are still preparing for the fourth wave as well.
Yeah. Speaking of the fourth wave, Prof, you know, given how far we've come in terms of the number of vaccines that have now administered in the country, we're now at over 19 million. What do we reckon the fourth wave? You know, analysts have put the fourth wave at around the end of the year. What do we reckon it's going to look like?
Well, you know, until it arrives, we won't know. But you know, I would like to think that it won't be as severe as the third and the second wave, because we hoping that the majority of our population will be vaccinated at that time, and we really hope that also by that time we would have reached the herd immunity. So we're calling for all, you know, people out there to go out and get vaccinated, so we're not hit hard by the fourth wave.
Yeah. The issue around vaccine hesitancy, because we know the only people who are eligible, these 2,000 people, to be at the stadium this evening for that match between Bafana-Bafana and Ethiopia, are those who are fully vaccinated. How do you reckon this is going to influence those of us who are still vaccine hesitant?
Well, I think that is actually a good move. It might help improve the recruitment for vaccination, and because people will feel that, you know, especially the sports fans, they wouldn't want to miss out. So if you really want to get to the next match, you'll make sure that you get vaccinated. So I think that will really improve and improve the numbers in with regards to vaccination.
Yeah. I mean, Prof, the issue of attitudes insofar as tonight's gathering is concerned, are you worried at all that, you know, as we gather in larger and larger crowds, that we will inevitably let our guards down?
Yes, that's already happening. I think that usually happens the minute the alert levels are lowered. People let their guards down, and usually prompts the next wave, because you hear it now. We're going down to level 1, the parties start, and then it prompts the next wave. So I mean, I hope that most of our people now are more educated, and they can see how this pandemic behaves, and they would not want to be the next victims. So, I see more and more people now are keeping their masks on, and I hope that this opening of stadiums and lowering of the alert levels does not make, people think that the pandemic has passed. It's still here, and we don't really know what's going to happen in the fourth wave. We may end up, with a variant that is vaccine resistant or even drug resistant, because of our behavior. So we need to improve our behavior to help reduce the transmission rate.
Yeah, and of course, in terms of helping to reduce the transmission rate, vaccinations are key to that step.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Your message perhaps for fans, for those who are in control of tonight's match at the stadium, Prof?
My message is just to, they should watch the protective measures for COVID-19. COVID-19 is still here with us, and, we don't want to see more victims, and we don't want the stadiums to be closed again because of people's poor behavior. So it's important that people, behave themselves, and if possible, just keep the distance and have social distancing in the stadiums, and I hope security will be making sure of that.
Yeah, absolutely. A number of important points you make there, Prof. Thanks very much indeed for your time this morning. Professor Tivani Mashamba-Thompson is Deputy Dean in the Faculty of Health Sciences at the University of Pretoria, as we continue to unpack the implications of fans being allowed into the stadium for tonight's Bafana-Bafana game.